for a
And so the CDOs that you create are of the highest quality and the highest value.
Absolutely.
How to entertain your audience with a boring plot. How to get your audience to engage in something not very thrilling or suspenseful. Now I get it. You might say, but why would we even do that in the first place? Why would we want to write a script with a boring plot? But trust me, they exist. And some of them are actually very, very good. Some stories might include a plot with the basic idea being a little boring. One movie that always comes to mind that does this is The Big Short, written and directed by Adam McKay. The Big Short is a movie that came out in 2015 that depicts and breaks down the worldwide housing and economic crisis of 2008. But before we jump into this, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Now back to the movie.
I've seen some that are 65% AAA rated, that I know for a fact are filled with 95% subprime shit.
Where almost 8 million people lost their jobs in the US alone. But the approach the movie takes to do that is by illustrating the people that were in the background, the ones that stayed in the shadows and knew what was coming.
But there were some who saw it coming. While the whole world was having a big old party, a few outsiders and weirdos saw what no one else could.
So the story follows 6 main characters with 3 main stories. Dr. Michael Berry, who was the first to figure out the housing crisis that was coming. Mark Baum and his team, who figured it out with the help of Jared Vennett, an asshole whose sole purpose is to make money.
Big bank, small bank, I like to
But
make
he's
money.
played by Ryan Gosling, so pretty cool guy. And the story of Jamie Shipley and Charlie Geller, the 2 dumbass kids who invested into some stocks and made some money, and with the help of Ben Rickert were also able to profit off of the crisis. But why should we care? Most of the movie is numbers and stupid financial and economic terms that basically nobody understands.
Rock bottom FICO scores. Adjustable rates, dog shit. With something called a credit default swap. Put it into a CDO.
Not the average viewer anyway. Hell, I had to watch the movie like 3 times to figure out what the hell these guys were talking about. I mean, even they, in the movie, mostly didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Hold on. Say that again.
CDO of a CDO.
What did you... Synthetic CDOs.
What the hell is going on?
But fuck me if this isn't one of the best movies of 2015. Easily. And that year had some great ass movies. Why though? Well, one of the biggest differences between the book and the movie is these things. Adam McKay used fourth wall breaking to explain some of the hardest stuff to understand in the movie.
Okay, so here's how a synthetic CDO works.
And surprisingly, it worked. I had a much easier time understanding what Jared was talking about when it was explained to me by Margot Robbie.
So here's Margot Robbie in a bubble bath to explain.
Think shit.
But yeah, anyway, that was a cool, unique thing to add in the movie. So thank you, Adam. Now to understand the further points of this video, you need to know who Adam McKay is.
How are you? You look awfully nice tonight.
I have a nickname for my penis. It's called the Octagon.
You have an absolutely breathtaking hiney.
I have an IQ of 48 and am what some people call mentally retarded.
Yes, that's what he actually makes. Adam McKay was given The Big Short after his latest movie being Anchorman 2. So nevertheless, it's pretty obvious our guy here is a comedian. And that's probably why he hired freaking Steve Carell to play the most serious character in the movie. The main reason why this movie is so fun to watch is the addition of comedy.
A few. There's definitely some interest.
Oh, my boss would have my ass.
You crazy, Jerry? Get lost, Jared.
You.
Imagine if the movie didn't have any of that. Imagine if this scene didn't have Steve Carell in it. Wouldn't be as good, right? Now, of course, there are a lot of elements in the movie that made it good. I mean, there's character, motivation, writing, story. But by far, one of the best decisions the studio could have made was hire Adam McKay, who's a comedy director, to do his thing. And he really made the perfect blend of comedy and drama. While the best written character in the movie, in my opinion, was Mark Baum, played by Steve Carell, a guy who questions everything in his government, who also suffered a tragic loss recently, and is still not over it.
A person who was not able to reach out to someone. He was in pain. My brother was in real pain.
His character gets exposed to how ugly and awful Wall Street can really get when he meets the stripper, when he meets these loan guys, and when he meets the CDO manager. It all keeps piling up in a very awful way. And he keeps thinking that he might actually win and actually give something for the people. But in the end, he realizes that everything he's done was really for nothing.
They knew the taxpayers would bail them out. They weren't being stupid. They just didn't care.
Except the $200 million.
You'll clear 200 mil, Mark.
All in all, the movie concludes in a not so satisfying way, even though all our main characters get super rich. But since the economy collapses and everybody loses their jobs, not even they were satisfied about making all that coin. And the movie ends in the horrible conclusion that despite all that happened, nothing has changed, and that banks are doing better than ever because they took the people's money for themselves.
Banks took the money the American people gave them and they used it to pay themselves huge bonuses and lobby the Congress to kill big reform. And then they blamed immigrants and poor people.
This sentence at the end of the movie, before the credits, explains it perfectly.